live stream. I appreciate you being here. This is Here's the Deal, the Here's the Deal channel. This is the live stream. Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear system audio right here.
Give it to me in writing and pay. So much for joining me right here. Give it to me in writing and pay.
Okay, can you hear the system audio and me before we proceed any further? Michael's here, Technical Peacock, Wrathguard, Rapid, Craven, Jay is here, Dave Blackman, Crypto King, Takeover, 5x5. All right, cool. The Awkward Satan Within Christ. What a YouTube name. Mr. Satan. 5x15. All right. Before we get into this, I don't want to waste anybody's time, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Quote for the day from Mikhail Gorbachev. Make sure you guys can see this whole quote right here. The threat of environmental crisis is the international disaster key to unlock the new world order. Remember, safety and security will always be the alibi of tyrants. They're always going to come to you and say, we're going to keep you safe. All you got to do is just give us a little bit more cash. Just a little bit more. Cash is crack to a politician. And then the next thing, I saw this before we went live. Apparently, the NYPD has announced the adoption of an emergency rule effective immediately, establishing additional rules for receiving a concealed carry handgun license. Let's see. What does that violate? What country are we in? Oh, that's right. We're in the United States, and the supreme law of the land is supposed to be, at least according to their mouths, the supreme law of the land is supposed to be the Constitution, which includes the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So if that's the case, that's supreme law of the land. This is an infringement on that Second Amendment. They say, please see the attached emergency rule that amends the gun licensing application standards in light of the Supreme Court decision and the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. And it says, the rule provides further guidance for people who have applied or who are applying for a concealed carry handgun license pursuant to the New York State penal law. So is the New York Supreme Court, or the Supreme Court of the United States above the Constitution? Is the New York State penal law above the Constitution? Is that the supreme law of the land? Is that what we're to assume here? Specifically, these additional rules include elimination of the proper cause standard, authorization of electronic filing of documents related to handgun licensure, adding certain documents required. So it's mandatory. It's a rule. It's an infringement to apply for and receive a handgun license, including 4 character references. So you got to get 4 character references and give it to the government so that they can search and investigate and question these 4 character references before they can allow you to have a gun, as though they're your governmental overlord and parents. So you got to get 4 character references and a list of current and former social media accounts from the last 3 years. So they're going to look into your social media accounts, see what kind of little boy or little girl you've been and what you've been putting out on the interwaves, the interwebs. Have you been compliant with, have you been consistent with and in line with our narrative and what we preach and what our ideology is? If not, guess what? You don't get a gun in the state of New York. In-person interview prior to receiving a handgun license, required certification of completion of a live firearm safety course pursuant to section 400.0019 of the penal law. That's what we want to do. We want to come in line with the penal law. Repealing the pre-license exemption application for applicants who use a gun for instructional purposes, adding a notice requirement for rifle, shotgun permit holders and handgun licenses, and requiring such permit holders and licenses to affirm receipt of such notice, and a provisional definition of the Times Square sensitive location zone, which is a gun-free zone. Remember, so if they do, by chance, by some remote chance, give you the permission to have a handgun and conceal it, you're not going to be able to do it in Times Square because that's a gun-free, criminal empowerment, victim creation, fish in a barrel zone, and you just can't protect yourself in that zone. So this all equals infringement. Isn't freedom so much more simple? Right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. New York doesn't care about you. The overlords of New York don't care about you. The governors, the senators, the congressmen, anybody who represents the government in New York don't care about you. They don't care about your right, and they could give a damn about their own reputation because they swore to protect and defend those rights, and now they're going to go against them. This guy right here, who has this channel called Top Shelf Authority. I really wanted to give a shout out to him because I watched his video and I think he did a fantastic job, not only in articulating the articles of freedom and personal liberty, but it just seems like it's down in his heart. The guy's name is Sean Morley, aka his WWE stage name is Val Venis. And in case you don't know who Val Venis is, I'm just going to play a small clip for you because I'm sure WWE/WWF isn't going to let me play more than a 10-second clip here. But here's who Val Venis is just by way of introduction. Val Venis had a pretty interesting interaction at the Mesa County Courthouse. And if Mesa sounds, and this is in Arizona, in case that sounds familiar to you, that's the police department. That's the area where Philip Brailsford gunned down Daniel Shaver, who was trying like crazy to comply with the orders of Philip Brailsford and his Mesa Police Department henchmen as he was slightly inebriated and then got gunned down like a dog in cold blood. So that's the Mesa that we're talking about. So listen to how Val Venis, AKA, I don't know if he wants to go by Sean Morley or Val Venis, but he's entitled his video right here, Val Venis threatened again with arrest. What the F? Is the First Amendment dead in Mesa, Arizona? And I'll let you be the deciding factor on that. Here's Val Venis.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me right here on Top Shelf Anarchy. Right now, we're getting ready to head into the Mesa Municipal Courts over here. And we're going to take our camera in there and see if they'll respect our First Amendment right to freedom of the press and to film in public from public places. And we're going to see how far we can get into this city court in order to attempt to ask the city attorney a few questions. Let's go. How y'all doing?
Can't be filming here, sir.
Can't be filming in here? Why can't we film in here?
Just like the sign says.
Where's that sign?
Right on the doors.
The sign is our God. We took an oath to the sign. We uphold the sign. We protect and we defend the sign. It's a penal code. It's a policy. Don't you understand that? Don't you know what the supreme law of the land is, Val? This is a constitution-free zone. Get that through your thick skull. You are not in America. That might as well say, we don't respect the First Amendment here. This is a constitution-free, First Amendment, press-free zone.
Okay, so now what we need to do is to talk who's in charge of this place to get that unconstitutional sign removed. So who can we speak to about that?
Supervisor coming out right now.
Please do.
No.
Welcome back.
How are you, sir?
Okay, so you've been here before, so you know the rules.
I know the rule. I know the supreme law of the land says I have a First Amendment right to freedom of the press.
The rules of the court then.
These are the perfect products of the public school system, the indoctrination program, the 15,000 hour government school indoctrination program that taught all these people right here, more than likely, to just be good order followers. The good people are the ones who obey the rules. The bad people are the ones who step out of line and disobey the rules. You need to obey the rules, children.
All right, sir, I'd like to speak to your supervisor to talk about getting these unconstitutional signs removed. Oh, this is going to convince me that it's constitutional?
Nope, it's going to convince you that you need to leave.
Arizona Supreme Court Rule 122.1, a portable electronic device is a mobile device capable of electronically storing, accessing, or transmitting information. You know, kind of like people who are exercising their free right of the press can do. The term encompasses, among other things, a transportable computer of any size, including a tablet, a notebook, and a laptop, a smartphone, a cell phone, or wireless phone, a camera, other audio video recording device. Let's see, 122.1-B. The courthouse includes all areas within the exterior walls of a court building. Local orders. By local administrative order, a court may adopt further reasonable limits on photography. Reasonable limits. You know, that goes down to what like the Biden administration says, and what a lot of people, a lot of government functionaries say is that the Second Amendment is not absolute. The First Amendment is not absolute. You can't yell fire in a movie theater. That's not covered by the First Amendment. Mesa Municipal Court Administrative Order, use of recording devices, use in public buildings. In the event you fail to adhere to the rules or orders governing the recording, audio, filming, video, etc. in a court facility as cited below, you will be, let's see if we can see the rest of this.
That is constitutional.
Nope, it's going to convince you that you need to leave, or I'm going to have you trespass.
You're going to have me trespass for being a journalist that is documenting what's happening in public places in a public building. And you're going to turn around like a tyrant because my words don't matter. Please get me your supervisor. I'd like to speak to a supervisor.
Yeah, let's see. Hippie says in the room, and now in Arizona, they're trying to make it so that you can't film cops within 8 feet. Doesn't that go into effect today? Today's the 24th, isn't it? Doesn't it go into effect on the 24th, or is it on September 24th? I can't remember. Let me know when that goes into effect. Anybody who lives in Arizona, or if you're familiar with that newly formed statute.
So here we go, guys. The supreme law of the land says Americans have a First Amendment right to freedom of the press, to be journalists, and then you have people like this that swore an oath to the Constitution. They work in a public building where constitutional rights are supposed to be protected, yet that First Amendment right, as much as the Founding Fathers attempted to protect you, the American citizen, from these people violating your First Amendment right, look what they're doing. They swear an oath to the Constitution, but somewhere magically they must have sworn an oath to policy as well.
Well, it's either one or the other. You can't serve two masters. It's kind of like when you see the oath for the military and for police. It's like they say, we swear we protect, defend, and uphold the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the United States. Well, you can't do both. They're contradictory. They're mutually exclusive, and they actually, one speaks against the other and the other speaks against the one. So it's either one or the other. You can't keep both. It's like saying, yes, I will uphold the torch of liberty, but I'll also swim to the depths of the ocean. You know, it's like, well, the torch of liberty is going to be extinguished if you choose to go into the ocean. I choose to uphold the light while you're walking around in darkness and peddling darkness. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It's contradictory. And that's what cognitive dissonance is. These people have convinced themselves that they can hold two contradictory ideologies and ideas in their mind at the same time and be just fine. That's what cognitive dissonance does. It settles your spirit. It calms your soul against all reason, against all logic, and against all morality. That's how people can get themselves to sleep at night, because all these badged enforcers right here go home convinced that they did the right thing for the American public, and they did the exact opposite. They did the wrong thing. They didn't uphold, protect, and defend freedoms. They trashed, they slaughtered freedom at the altar of, well, you just got to obey our rules.
And to the public school teachers out there, these are all fully grown adults right here that work for the government. They were in your hands for 12 years. 12 years. These human beings were in the halls of your camps, your indoctrination camps. You had one job, and now I have fully grown adults violating my First Amendment right to freedom of the press.
Yep, that's right.
You had one job, public school teachers.
Look at this school right here. I mean, this screen right here. It said something about keeping safe, and the way you keep safe is by giving up your rights. And that's what they'll always say. That's why we constantly talk about the Benjamin Franklin quote. If you give away essential liberty to obtain politically promised security, you won't get either. You won't get safety or security. Oh, you might think you're safe, you might think you're secure, but you're losing your freedom. So if you lose your freedoms, you're automatically going to lose your safety and your security. You don't deserve either.
One job.
Wallet, belt, keys, any middle out of your pockets.
We got a supervisor coming down? Or somebody that's in charge of the building? Shame on all of you. Violating an American's First Amendment right to freedom of the press.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Like you would expect that in China. You would expect that in Ukraine. You would expect that in places that don't have a constitution and don't care about individual rights. But you shouldn't expect it of law enforcement officers who took the oath. It doesn't mean anything. And I'll say it again because I constantly say this with Lysander Spooner when he said, whether the Constitution be one thing or another, this much is certain. It's either authorize such a tyrannical government as we have, or it's been powerless to stop it. In either case, who cares? It's unfit to exist.
How do people get like this? I can't even go up to the city's attorney's office to ask simple questions because these guys want to stop me from coming in here and documenting my journalism. What a crying shame. Do we have somebody coming down, ma'am? Somebody in charge of the building? How does it make you feel to tell somebody they're not allowed to engage in the First Amendment protected activity called freedom of the press? You don't want to answer that? Mesa police, so you get paid by tax dollars. Who told you it was okay to accept a career position knowing your entire paycheck, your entire pension, and your entire standard of living is funded with stolen loot?
Look at the smirk on her face. She doesn't care. And again, she can pacify herself and she can soothe her conscience all she wants. But the bottom line is natural law won't release her from the guilt that she is currently under. You can spray all the perfume on yourself that you want to, but you're still going to be a stinky, dirty, filthy pig. And that's why people call these people pigs, because they're porkers. They're porking out on you and I. They're taking the product of our time and laboring energies and making a living off of it. And when they are incentivized to get a paycheck, they will scarcely will a person who's getting a paycheck to turn away from the truth turn toward the truth. They've got too much to lose. It's like this St. Louis cop told me, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. He's like, dude, I get what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. But at the end of the day, I gots to feed the children. That's literally what he said to me. And I said, so what you're telling me is you're willing to throw American freedoms, not just mine, but you're actually willing to throw your children's freedoms away so that you can currently get a paycheck for throwing our freedoms away, including your children, including your grandparents, including your grandchildren, including yourself. Because here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy irony of these First Amendment audits, if you want to call them that. If it offends you when I call you a First Amendment auditor, that's just for lack of a better term, whatever. Val Venis right here is actually fighting for this woman's rights. He's fighting for this woman's parents' rights. And if she has kids, he's fighting for her rights while she's giving up her rights and her grandparents' rights and her parents' rights and her children's rights. That's the irony. It's the grave irony of this whole thing. Talk about a dramatic, ironic drama that's unfolding before our very eyes. It's pretty unconscionable.
You don't have skills or anything marketable that you could engage in the free market and earn money honestly. Instead, you accept your entire standard of living to be funded with stolen loot. I mean, unless you truly think taxation is something other than the crime of theft. Would you know theft if it hit you in the face? Nothing to say. But yet, you have the power You have the ability. You don't have the...
These two have the same smirk on their faces. And this guy right here probably does, but we can't see it because he's complying with you know what, because he's got a ritualistic shame muzzle on and he's participating in the medical ritual known as you know what. It's crazy, man. And, you know, I hate to say it, but these people that constantly come forward saying, hey, you know, when they hire these people for these positions right here, we're talking about low end, low quality, low IQ. How can you argue against that? And I don't even care so much about somebody's IQ, because you can have a low IQ but a high morality. I will take a low IQ, high morality individual any day of the week, because they're not going to reach out their hand to harm you, threaten to harm you, or steal your stuff. These people, on the other hand, low IQ and low morality, don't think twice about doing that very thing.
Right, but you have the ability to put me in handcuffs and put me in a cage, and you won't answer questions. Tell me that's not a tyrant. Shame on every single one of you. You're a young man. You're a young man. How does it feel? How does it feel knowing your paycheck and pension is funded with stolen loot?
They never thought about it, probably. They don't want to think about it.
They don't want to answer the good questions. They don't want to answer the real questions.
It's almost like when I see these people like Val or any of the auditors out there go on scene to where these piglets are, who are trampling and and cleaning the soles of their feet on the Constitution. And guys, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a constitutionalist by any means, but why don't we just hold them to the Bill of Rights? They're lying against their own consciences. They're breaking their own oath, which means their word is nothing. If your word is nothing, your character is trash. That's why it makes a huge, huge difference. It testifies to what kind of people these individuals truly are, that they don't care to trash the Constitution. If you're trashing the Bill of Rights, you're trashing individual rights. You're trashing the First Amendment. You're trashing the Second Amendment. You're trashing the Fourth Amendment, right to be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects. Freedom of the press. You're trashing that. You don't give a damn about that for Val. You don't give a damn about that for any First Amendment auditor. And you don't give a damn about that for your family. And so when the Gestapo comes for these people, there's not going to be anybody around to help, because they did their part to vanquish freedom on American soil.
So the question here is, there's a bunch of you with badges on. Which one of you is going to honor your oath and allow a journalist to come in and document asking the city attorney questions?
That's a good question.
Oh, it's funny, is it?
Thank you.
It's funny being a tyrant.
I don't know if I need 13.
No, you're fine.
Unbelievable. Didn't have any skills.
Delete Laws says in the chat room, AZ is in the top 5 worst unconstitutional places in America. If you live in Arizona, tell me what you think about that statement. As far as I've seen it, there's been a lot of coverage on Arizona and Arizona cops, and it does look like there's a fair amount of tyranny going on there. I mean, I don't know how you gauge that, because, New York's pretty bad. California's pretty bad. Chicago, Illinois is pretty bad. But yeah, I've seen a lot of abject tyranny coming out of Arizona. That's for sure.
Is there anything marketable that you could earn a living in the private sector, do you? You, as a human being, willfully chose to pursue a career knowing your entire standard of living is funded with stolen loot. Shame on you guys. Shame on every single one of you.
Now here we go. Here's this guy's chance. This guy right here. This is his chance to go, you know what? I don't care what you say in your little tie. I don't care what you say in your little security or Mesa police uniform. I am here to uphold your rights, this guy's rights, and Val's rights. This is his chance to shine. This is his chance to set himself apart from virtually every cop out there. Let's see how he does.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm well, sir.
What's your name and badge number, sir?
Is that Floyd the Barber from Andy Griffith? I'll take a little off the top end.
Garth White 12877.
Garth White, it's a pleasure.
Anyway, they have paperwork saying that y'all can't video inside.
I understand what they have, sir. They also have a sign right here that says no photography, video recording.
Right.
Yeah, and what did you swear an oath to?
Okay, let's not get into all that.
Let's not get into the Constitution you swore.
Let's not muddy the waters here. I don't want to get into my oath that I took to protect and defend your rights. Come on, that's getting a little complicated here. Let's keep it nice and tyrannically simple.
An oath to the Constitution, yes or no? You swore an oath to protect my right to act as a journalist and go in there and ask the city attorney very basic questions, okay? So yes, let's get into that. You swore an oath to protect my right to freedom of the press, right? Yes or no?
Of course I did.
Okay, then can you please go ahead and protect my right to freedom of the press?
No, they have
You
paperwork
can't.
from the court saying you can't do that.
Did you swear an
No,
oath?
he's not allowed to.
Did you swear an oath to a judge, or did you swear an oath to the Constitution? I want an answer.
Okay, I got to do it, guys. I got to do it. I just noticed this guy looks like Floyd the Barber, so I just got to do this right here. So here's this guy that Val's talking to. Here's Floyd the Barber. Come on. Are there any similarities? Let's play some of this.
Little electric machines now, you know, where you just push a button and it oozes out ready-made lather.
Ready-made leather. Oh, reminds me of Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Well, let's go have a conversation in the shade.
That's a good idea, get in the shade. It is a little hot out here. So you swore an oath to the Constitution. What are you doing enforcing policy? Does the Constitution say you have freedom of the press except when this fat guy right here decides to...
Guys, that is totally a Floyd the Barber move. Floyd the Barber was always grabbing his neck. Let's see if he'll grab his neck in this little episode right here. Let's see.
Fresh mixed against the mug.
Wait, he was looking to the left there. Let's see. Come on. That's looking pretty darn close there. That's looking pretty darn close. Floyd... We thought Floyd died, but he's taken a position as top tyrant in the Mesa Police Department. Floyd, what happened to you, man? Mayberry was so peaceful. Why couldn't you learn a thing or two from Andy? If you look at Andy Griffith, though, I did a video on this a little while back, how Andy and Barney are just as tyrannical as current police officers. There was a guy who set up a fruit stand outside of Mayberry, just trying to sell fruits and vegetables in a mutually exclusive, voluntary, consensual business transaction. People were coming to the fruit stand. They loved it. But Barney and Andy, the tyrants they were, had to meddle in this guy's business, economically terrorize him, and shut it down. So, Andy and Barney weren't peace officers. They were law enforcement. Let's listen to Floyd here real quick.
It's against the mug. You know, it's a kind of a clap sound.
Produce some piece of paper that says policy on it.
These are the charges.
And you're not allowing me back in there?
Nope.
You're not allowing me back in. You're going to deny me a right to engage in freedom of the press.
Correct. You're not allowed back in, sir.
Will I be arrested if I go back in there?
You will.
Absolutely.
I will be arrested if I go back in there.
Will. Can we go back in the shade?
Wow. I will be arrested if I go back in there. You just, sir, I'm telling you right now, you have a chance to change your mind, but right now you're setting yourself up to have the taxpayers robbed by a lawsuit. So you're not going to honor your oath. Instead, you're going to honor some tyrant judge's policy. Is that right?
Well, the judges are the ones that set the rules.
Did you swear an oath to honor a judge's ruling, or did you swear an oath to honor the Constitution, sir? Which did you swear an oath to?
Okay, you're trespassed from there. If you go...
Fake Mike Real News is here while Floyd's talking, just real quick. Fake Mike Real News actually did an interview with Val Venis, and I was trying to look for it on his channel. Hey, Will, if you can put that link to... I couldn't find it anywhere in your channel. Maybe you have it on your backup channel, or maybe it's on Twitter or Facebook, but if you can drop that link, I'd really appreciate it.
Inside, you'll be arrested.
I'm okay. Well, now, do you care?
Did you hear the threat? Here's the threat from an armed badge tyrant. Listen to the threat. The threat towards somebody who just wants to exercise his right on American soil, consistent with the supreme law of the land.
The one that set the rules.
Did you swear an oath to honor a judge's ruling, or did you swear an oath to honor the Constitution, sir? Which did you swear an oath to?
Okay, you're trespassed from there. If you go inside, you'll be arrested.
I'm okay.
There you
Wait,
go. If you go inside there exercising your First Amendment rights, I am going to take 100% of your freedoms by kidnapping you and throwing you into a rape cage, is what Floyd the Barber says here from the Mesa Police Department. Evil. It's just evil.
Do you care that you just set your city up, the city that you represent, for illegal, for a lawsuit?
Sir,
Does that bother you?
You may do as you wish.
No, you don't care because you don't pay. Look around. See all these people driving? See these people walking across the street? They all go to work in the private sector, and they're forced to pay taxes. It's them that's going to pay this lawsuit.
You have a wonderful day, sir.
It means nothing to you.
You are trespassed from this building.
Hey, Fake Mike Real News, that message I sent you today, I gave you the wrong prefix. It's 918, not 819 or wherever. It's 918. So if you can give me a buzz after this live stream, I need to talk to you about something.
I need something in paper, sir. I need something on paper that says I'm trespassed. No? No? Are you serious?
I'm telling you, you're trespassed.
I want something in writing I can take to my lawyer.
I don't care what
Then
you
I'll
want.
go in there and get arrested, and we'll force it that way.
Okay.
Now give me a piece of paper that says I'm trespassed. I want them to...
Just a real quick word of criticism for what Val just said here. If you say you're going to do something, you should probably do it, or just be careful about what you said. I'm not down on Val for this, but if you say you're going to go in there, just honor your word. I mean, keep your word even if it hurts, or don't say it at all, because that drills down to the core of character about who you are. I'm not saying he has a bad character. I'm just saying, like, because people can make mistakes. But if you say, hey, I'm going to go in there, because I know I'm going to go in there with the absolute confidence that whatever rule you have posted on the door, whatever your laws and ordinances and penal codes are, they go against, they're a direct violation of my unalienable right as an American citizen. American individual, not citizen, because you're not a denizen of the city. You know, we all got stuff that we got cognitive dissonance cobwebs we got to get out of our brains. But I'm just saying, if you say you're going to do something, it's kind of like people who constantly go, I don't answer questions, and then they follow that up by answering 20 questions in a row. If you say you're not going to answer questions, now you could say, hey, there's certain questions I'm not going to answer, and I will choose which ones I won't answer. There's some that I might choose to answer, and a lot of them that I probably won't. But if you box yourself in a corner, I don't answer questions, then you make yourself kind of look like a fool if you start answering questions after you said you wouldn't answer questions.
In there and get arrested, and we'll force it that way.
Okay.
Now give me a piece of paper that says I'm trespassed. I want them to issue a trespass warning.
I'm issuing it to you right now.
Then give it to me in writing, in
need to
paper.
write it.
You don't need to write it?
I do not need to write
What
it.
do I take to a lawyer to prove I've been trespassed
Take
from
your
there?
video.
I need something in writing.
Take your video.
Sir, go in there and get me a...
So I'm not familiar with this. Is it true? Do you really need something in writing? If you have something recorded, if you have an audio or video recording, especially if it's a video audio recording where you actually know who you're talking to and what he said, isn't that just as good as if you put it in writing? I may be wrong. I don't know. It seems like it would be just as good. If you wanted to take something to a lawyer, it seems like that would be substantial.
Trespass warning. They have to write it. What crime did I commit walking in there, sir? What crime did I commit? Filming? Is that a crime? What crime did I commit to get trespassed?
If you go inside, you'll be trespassed, and you will be arrested.
Let me ask you this.
Somebody said, like saying you won't watch CNN and when did I ever say that I won't watch CNN? I watch CNN all the time, but I don't get it to get information. I get it to expose what they actually do. So if anybody has a soundbite of me saying I won't watch CNN, which I don't remember ever saying, let me know and I'll correct myself on air.
Question, sir. Let me ask you this question.
Shoot.
You pursued a job knowing that your entire standard of living is funded with stolen loot. Your entire paycheck, your entire pension is funded with stolen loot.
That's
Okay?
true.
Who told you that was okay?
Watch out. Don't get right over.
Yeah, I'm a fully grown adult. I've been living 51 years. I think I'll be pretty good.
Okay.
Wow. Mesa City cops. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable. I'm trying to go in there to ask the city court attorney some questions, and these guys won't let me go in there to film. First, I have a right to go in there and film, and they just denied it to me. They literally threatened me with arrest if I go in there with my camera.
Can you imagine a cop or any law enforcement, judge, senator, congressman, military man saying that you have an unalienable right, a right I cannot put a lien on, and then they proceed to put a lien on it. They proceed to limit your ability to exercise the rights that they swore to protect. What kind of person do you have to be to do that? This is why these videos are so important, because we're just talking, guys, we are just a world of humans. The earth is inhabited by human beings and animals. We happen to be on the human side of things. So you're just talking about another human being who actually thinks that they have a higher claim over your life and property than you, to the point where they can limit your freedoms. You wouldn't dare try to limit their freedoms, but they don't care. They'll limit your freedoms all day long. I got a serious problem with that. That to me is mental illness. It's psychopathy. It's criminality. It's infuriating.
Wow. 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 There you go, guys.
So that's it. Okay, so the name of this channel, I want to keep this short. We're already at 35, 36, 37 minutes, whatever it is. This is Top Shelf Anarchy. The name of the guy who owns this channel is Val Venis, also known as Sean Morley. I'm going to put the link in the chat room right now, and then I'll make sure that I put it in the... let's see, there it is right there. Yeah, I'll put it in the description and in the pinned comment. But please go to Top Shelf Anarchy, because he does have a lot of really good interaction videos, First Amendment videos. Let's just go to his channel right now. It's Top Shelf Anarchy. I love that. I love that name. Top Shelf Anarchy. Let's just look at some of his videos here. Just peruse the list. Yeah, here's the last one. Val Venis threatened again with arrest in Mesa. This is the one that we just went over. And I will try to get with Fake Mike Real News. He had an interview with him. If you guys are interested in me also interviewing Val Venis, because he seems like a really interesting guy. He seems genuine to me in all the videos that I've seen. It looks like he truly cares about championing the cause of freedom and putting down tyranny and exposing the tyranny in his area. So if you're interested in me giving an interview with him, let me know. Put a 1 in the comment section. I've got another video in the hopper that's coming out that you're really going to want to see. I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts. It should come out tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. It's a pretty long one, but I think you'll want to see it. Thank you guys for looking at Trot Golfer's video the other day. It looks like he got a couple of subscribers out of that, and I think he does a fantastic job, because he keeps things really even keel while he holds the line and presses freedom to the tyrants who are trying to take our freedoms away. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. Please share this video, guys. These are super important. I will see you guys in the next video. And make sure you hit the like button before you leave. There's 363 people in here and 224 likes. The likes help us overcome the algorithms. If you like it and you share it, we'll really overcome the algorithms. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next stream. Take care. Oh, don't just be safe, be free. Set brush fires of freedom in the minds of men.